Alright, take 3 because I was unprepared for the first one. And, well, the first one I started laughing. Second one I just was unprepared. Alright, so we're going to talk about the send her back chant and the outfall that's happened from that. And we're going to sort of try and give you a non-partisan look at this and let you know what my thoughts are. So let's just go through and talk about. Trump had a rally recently. Here was, I believe, there is somewhere it's going to say... NC, North Carolina. So he was having a rally in North Carolina and he was talking about Ilha and the crowd went through and chanted send her back. It only goes for about a minute, so we're going to play that for you guys now and you get to see it yourself.
And she looks down with contempt on the hard-working Americans, saying that ignorance is pervasive in many parts of this country. And obviously and importantly, Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds. When she talked about the evil Israel, and it's all about the Benjamins, not a good thing to say. So, that's Omar. That's Omar.
Right, so that's what happened. That's the situation that happened through an objective look. Now, obviously, Elma has gone through and she has responded to her send her back chant at Trump rally. Democrat Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar responded Thursday to send her back chant aimed at the freshman Congress member by the crowd at President Trump's rally in North Carolina Wednesday night. Omar told reporters that Trump is a fascist and said that he clearly hates someone like me. Now, the message that he sends is not that it's every single person who shares identity with me. He's telling me that, and this is not their country, and this is telling them that this is this. They are welcome here because of what I said on my election night was in Minnesota. We are not welcoming just refugees. We send them to Washington. God, is it just me or does she speak really bad English? By the way, not racist, but just saying, like, this is not their country. And what we tell them is that they are welcome here. It's really bad grammar. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's the writer. It's the Daily Caller. It should be fine, but anyway. They are welcome here because of what I said on my election night was in Minnesota. We don't just welcome refugees, we send them to Washington. That sentence in itself is bad grammar. It should be what I said. So what she should say is refugees are welcome here. And I reinforced that on my election night by saying that we don't just welcome them, we send them to Washington. That would be a better sentence, but anyway. Members of the crowd at Trump's rally in Greenville, North Carolina, chanted "Send her back" about Omar. After Trump brought up the comments she made about Al-Qaeda, the chant echoed the language of Trump's Sunday rant on Twitter, lively attacking Omar and 3 other progressives, female members of Congress. So, vile Omar is awful. She's racially anti-Semitic with terrible views. Okay, so the reason why the chant is chanting this, right, this is in reference to her talking about Al-Qaeda. This is in reference to her not being pro-America, right? Now, I'm just going to play this here. Paul Joseph Watson, guys, if you haven't seen his videos, go and check them out. They're really, really good. I know he's right-wing, and I try and be non-partisan, hence the name, but he's done a really, really good job of summing up LR's actual views. So let's just quickly go through and play this, and if he... Well, it's not going to be any ads on it, so anyway. So.
Some people did something.
She called for, quote, crazy stuff. She described the worst terrorist atrocity ever perpetrated on US soil as some people did something.
Some people did something?
She called for, quote, compassion for wannabe ISIS jihadists and said that a judge in Minnesota should give them lenient sentences. She refused to denounce Al-Qaeda.
Can you respond to some of the president's specific claims, most notably that you're a communist and that you're pro-Al-Qaeda?
You might have noticed how when he said go back to where you came from, there was an uproar.
That you're pro-Al-Qaeda.
She refused to denounce the Antifa terrorist attack on an ICE facility in Washington state.
Will you condemn the Antifa attack in Washington over the weekend? It's easy to condemn terrorism. Will you condemn it?
Is it clear?
Antifa firebombed a facility in Tacoma over the weekend. It's an ICE facility. Will you condemn them for that?
She was caught on camera laughing about and making light of the Islamic terrorist threat.
And so it was the thing that was interesting in the class was every time the professor said Al-Qaeda, he sort of like his shoulders went up and, you know.
Yeah, he's in command here.
Al-Qaeda, you know, Hasbullah.
He's an expert.
She blamed America for the collapse of the socialist system in Venezuela.
A lot of the policies that we have put in place has kind of helped lead the devastation in Venezuela.
Some say she even married her own brother. That's a lot of crazy, but
Now, I'm not going to play the rest of the video because, guys, you should go check him out if you don't already. He does some great videos. Whether you like him or not, he tends to stick to the truth. He's actually centre-left, but regardless. People think because he works for InfoWars, he's alt-right, which is weird because InfoWars isn't even alt-right. But anyway, but like I say, yeah, he's gone through it, and I just wanted to play that clip there because it basically outlines the reason why the chant started. Right, people have had enough of her. Now, I'm not saying I condone the chant or I agree with it or anything like that. I'm just saying this is why they're chanting her, right? It's her current stance that's currently against America, seemingly against America's best interests. Now, obviously, Trump has gone through and has disavowed... Oh, sorry, no, that's not Trump. That's Shill Media. Sorry, I meant... Yeah. We'll talk about that in a sec. Trump claims to disavow chant after pressure from allies. So fences are facing an onslaught of indignation and qualms over his inner circle. President Trump claimed Thursday to be unhappy with his crowd. Unhappy that his crowd brokered into chant sent her back. He denied. He denigrated the Democratic lawmaker, as he previously said she should leave the U.S. That's not true at all. He said that she should leave the U.S. if she doesn't like it here. There's a big difference. I was not happy with it. I disagree with it, Trump said at the White House after the rally. When the crowd area in North Carolina began the thundering chant as he assailed Representative Ilhan Omar was born in Somalia. I didn't say that. They went on. They did. So he's saying that the chant was started by the crowd. I didn't encourage it. They just broke out into a chant. Now, he also says that I started speaking very quickly, he said, assertion refuted by the video of Evan. Right. So this is where people are sort of saying, Trump's a liar because he's going right. So let's have a look at Phil DeFranco.
The whole thing was disgusting. Also, President Trump.
Well,
I started speaking very quickly as like a way to get them past it. So let's see.
Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds. And she talked about the evil Israel.
Sure, that was super fast, Phil said, sarcastically. And what I would say to that...
Now, here's the problem.
As if it actually...
He's actually cut a bit off it. We actually have the full video here. Listen to, and this may be nitpicky, but listen to this.
And she looks down with contempt on the hard-working Americans, saying that ignorance is pervasive in many parts of this country. And obviously...
Did you hear that? Let's replay it.
And obviously...
So when Trump says, I started speaking very quickly, we're not sure which instance he's talking about. Yes, it is true that Trump did wait 13 seconds to continue the speech after the full chant had broken out with the crowd. But here is a clear case of Trump speaking very quickly after the initial chant.
And obviously and importantly, Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
And that's when he waits the 13 seconds. So look, at the end of the day, I find it very, very interesting that Phil DeFranco has chopped that first part of it out to sort of try and prove his Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, sorry, his objective journalism. But, you know, hey, me and Phil D have a very different opinion on what's nonpartisan by the sounds of things. Regardless, DNC Chair Top Prez says squad represents remarkable rich diversity of the Democratic Party. And this is where we're getting into Trump's game plan. Trump is not stupid. People like to think that he's a big stupid oomph, right? I've seen people literally in Star Citizen chat today when I was watching a streamer who turned around and said there's no aliens at Area 51 because if there was, Trump would have slipped by now and said something. He's not stupid, right? There's two problems with that statement. A, you're presuming that they would tell him about it, and B, you're presuming that he would spoil. The fact of the matter is that Trump is not stupid, and Trump is deliberately trying to make these four women the face of the Democratic Party. Because at the end of the day, they're losers. Omar has a approval rating of around 9%, and her approval rating is so bad they even had to clarify that it wasn't a typo. Alexandria Cortez has an approval rating a little bit better than that, but not by much. This one here, I have no idea who she even is. And the fourth one, well, she's not even in the photo. So, you know, that says a lot, doesn't it? And what Trump is doing is something that Daily Caller has already caught on to, and a lot of us have already caught on to. He's making them the face of the Democratic Party. Because who wants to vote for that? If you go into 2020 and you have a choice between batshit crazy far leftists who want to not only condemn the firebombing of an ICE facility, yes, I know about that, but also go through and make anti-Semitic tropes and go through and all this sort of stuff that Omar and Alexandria Cortez and all of them have done. You know, AOC stuck up for Venezuela and communism a couple of times and all these far left. Like, if you have a choice of that, or you have a choice of Trump, who's not only saved the American economy, but is also managing to do a somewhat decent job around the world. Who are you going to vote for? You're going to vote for Trump, who's an existing incumbent president who has survived. We've survived 4 years with him. Nothing really bad has actually happened. In fact, actually a lot of good stuff has happened. American economy, trade wars, he's ripped up NAFTA, all this sort of stuff, right? Whether you like him or not, let's stick to the facts. Trump has done a somewhat decent job, if not a good job, domestically. Internationally, he gets a passing grade, but just. I don't like the whole blowing up Syria, but that could be his war hawk cabinet, right? But domestically, he's done a really, really good job. Or you can vote for the far left, crazy, batshit women who seemingly are defending ISIL, who are refusing to denounce firebombing an ICE department or an ICE facility, who want to get rid of ICE, who want to open borders and flood America with immigration. Who do you think is going to win 2020? And not only is he trying this game plan out, but the Democrats, they're marching along to Trump's beat. He's literally beating the drum and they're marching along unwillingly. And that's what they're doing. And it's not just... the Trump derangement is so strong that when he comes out and he criticizes someone like Ilhan, for example, the mainstream media will defend her. I'm not saying the chant was good. I'm not saying that at all. But defending someone who's possibly married her brother to commit, citizenship fraud? Maybe we'll take option C on the Democratic Party, but let's get going. Joy Barr suggests Trump should face criminal charges over send her back chant. Because, why? He's not the one that said it. They said it. Let's play this for you now.
Against this guy. And, and the Republican Party just falls in line behind him. They don't say anything. Lindsey Graham apologizes for him. McConnell, who has a wife who was an immigrant, apologizes.
We should be worried about violence
but
being
it's
directed.
pathetic.
Well, let's get to that point, because that's really, that really does involve people, women in particular, who critique this, which is our right. This is one of the great rights of the United States. You can say what you want to say, okay? He can say what he wants to say, but see, if we say something like that, and it sounds like we're talking about violence, we can get in deep doo-doo.
Yeah, you can't say it.
He doesn't care or doesn't acknowledge the fact that what he is doing is possibly inviting violence towards these women, and women who are saying, this is wrong, I don't like this.
No question.
This involves every female in this country.
Well,
But my problem with that, right, I'm not going to keep playing it because it's 2 minutes, so they'll probably try and copyright it. But my problem with this, right, is who is the violent group here? Over the past 2 weeks, which side have we seen violence from? We've seen Antifa go through and literally try and firebomb an ICE facility. But we're going to go on about Trump's violence here. Trump is encouraging violence. Really? How many Trump supporters over the past 2 weeks, over the past month, have gone through and done anything violent? You probably find one or two, but that's about it. Now, let's have a look at the left. Andy Ngo, a conservative journalist, whether you agree with him being a journalist or not, he is, right? He is going there to report facts. He got beaten up by left-wing anti-protesters. Antifa beat the living snot out of a son of an immigrant gay journalist. You want to talk about violence? Firebombing an ICE facility, beating a journalist in the past month. 2 cases I can literally think of, but you don't seemingly give a shit about that. You're more worried about Trump and his crowd. Well, actually, it was just the crowd. Send her back. Yeah, I'm real worried about the chant. Let me go to an Antifa rally and let's see if they, A, find out who I am, and B, if I manage to walk out of there. But, hey, Trump's a bad guy, right? Sure. Whoopi Goldberg, Trump possibly inviting violence towards the squad. Sure. Okay. In some weird world, sure. But let's not worry about the violence that comes out on our side, of course. Social media outrage erupts as Trump rallies chants send her back at Ilhan Omar. Obviously, this is just a bunch of left-wing people just losing their shit over Trump's chant, or the Trump's crowd chant, sorry. Kumi comes for Trump supporters. We must send Trump and his mob back to the dark corner. That's funny. Trump and his mob want to send you to jail. We'll see who wins that argument. Look, at the end of the day, obviously, Kumi is just riding this Democrat support. It's what he's trying to do. He knows he's lost all favour with Trump and his supporters, so he's just trying to cling to relevancy through supporting the Democrats, that's all. Omar Rahat received asylum under false name, married brother. Nothing like, that. The Power blog claimed an investigation report published Thursday that Representative Ilhan Omar not only married her brother, but also received asylum as a child after her family used a false name. The exclusive blog post was written by David Strelberg, who did much of the initial reporting on Omar, that was retraced by the Minnesota Star-Tribune after state ethics investigation revealed last month that she had filed joint tax returns for 2 years with one man while married to another. Sternberg claimed that Omar is occasionally one of 5 siblings in the Ethe family from Somalia. 3 of the siblings were granted asylum in the United Kingdom, while 2 were granted asylum in the United States, including the father. He further alleges Omar's family is the second unrelated family which was being granted asylum by the United States. That Omar allowed Anand, her genetic sister Sarah, and her genetic father Nauru, said to use false names to apply for asylum as members of the Omar family. So Sternberg also alleges that Representative Ola married her alleged brother named Allah Shah Shadi Imi in 2009. He had reportedly been granted asylum in the UK. Following the marriage, he allegedly went to study at North Dakota State University. Imi allegedly lived with her and her Hasri, the father of the child, and the man who Swarm says she had been married in an Islamic ceremony in 2002. While he studied, he allegedly left the US shortly after. Omar reportedly divorced Imi in 2017 and allegedly married Harashi a short time later. However, she filed joint tax returns for Harashi from 2014 and 2015, while still legally married to Ismail. Omar paid a lawyer to help her deal with the situation, and state ethics investigation confirmed the campaign finance violation occurred when she used company funds to pay the lawyer for what was non-campaign related purposes. So, there's nothing but bad history with this girl. There really, really isn't. Now, I'm legally married to one and culturally to another. How Ilhan Omar desperately tried to shut down accusations of polygamy amid claims that she briefly married to her brother to commit immigration fraud. So, I'm not legally married to 2 people, but I'm legally married to one and culturally married to another. That's how Ilhan Omar's campaign spokesman Ben Jesfus summarized Ilhan's congressional arrangement as an email in August 2016, when Ilhan was running for Congress and her advisors were trying to stifle allegations of double marriage with a man allegedly to be her brother. I'm pretty sure marrying your brother is illegal in the United States anyway. So, yeah. Now, obviously, at the end of the day, the thing is that I don't have a problem. Look, she wants to go and marry her brother. She can do that. Okay, it's not my cup of tea, but go for it, I suppose. The thing that I want to know is, were they actually married or was it fraud? Did she marry her brother to get him into the country, which I suspect? And if so, is that fraud, which would obviously be the answer of yes. I don't care about the marrying the brother incest side of things, right? That's a thing that you go knock yourself out, whatever. Right? Not my cup of tea, but whatever. But at the end of the day, committing immigration fraud while you're also running for Congress, not the first time that's reportedly happened, is it? But anyway. She's toast. Latest reports by David Sternberg describes Elmar's 8 instances of perjury. She could face 40 years in prison or deportation. So that Chant sent her back might actually be fairly accurate. According to Sternberg, there is credible evidence that Elmar and her family changed their name to illegally enter the United States back in 1995. and since that time, Omar had continued to defy the US law. According to Sternberg, Representative Omar committed at least 8 instances of perjury going back to 2009. The charges could carry up to 40 years of prison time or deportation. Obviously, Omar has no regard for the US law, blah, 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 blah. And I'll put a link in these articles so you can check them out yourself. Look, as for my stance on this, do I think that Trump minded the chant? To be honest, probably not. I don't think he really cared too much about it. I think Trump was too busy. Look, is he winding the crowd up? Sure. It's what he's supposed to do as a running for election. When you run for an election, you want to get your fans riled up to go to vote for you. Right? He is doing the exact same thing that won him the 2016 election. Except for Hillary, it's now Omar. That's what he's doing. He's picked the worst person out of the Democratic person. He's singled them out, whether they're male, female, Somali, American, whatever it may be. And he's gone through, he's picked out the worst person, he's found their flaws, and he's making them the face of the Democratic Party. Because this is the person that you're going to have to vote for. The election is between Trump and the nominee, right? But at the moment, he's trying to make her the nominee. And this is where Paul Joseph Watson was absolutely correct. Don't deport her. I don't want Omar deported. I want her as the Democratic face. I want Omar to be running around on C-SPAN and all these other TV stations making gaffes of themselves. I want AOC to be saying some completely dumb shit and getting torn apart about Congress. That may be the third video for the day. I've got some really good stories today, and it's really complicated to pick 3. But anyway, I'm sticking to 3 videos a day. But anyway. But yeah, I want these people to be the face of the Democratic Party. Because at the end of the day, that's how Trump's going to win. That's Trump winning 2020 and possibly even 2024 when he gets Donnie Jr. to run. Trust me, it's going to happen. I'll be very, very surprised if Don Jr. doesn't put his name up for 2024. And I reckon we'll see him doing an increased presence between now and 2024. He'll be taking the reins and he will turn around and they'll say things like, you have no right running a president because you have no experience, and he'll be able to turn around and say, not true, I work with my father, I have an idea of what it's like being in the White House. And that's what he's going to do. Now, at the end of the day, if the Democrats are smart, they would go through and they would run someone like Biden. But Biden doesn't have a lot of support. Bernie Sanders has more support for Biden. And it's a toss-up whether Bernie Sanders can win 2020 even. So what Trump is doing is he's making them the face of the Democratic Party so that the Democrats, the far-left progressive Democrats, will vote for them as the nominee, and they will go up against Trump in 2020. 2020, if Trump has his way, is going to be a case of Trump versus AOC, Omar, whoever it may be. Some far-left progressive. And everybody is going to be like, these women are batshit insane, I'm voting Trump. Or I'm not voting at all. Which either way, Trump wins. But, I don't know guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. As for the chant, look, I don't like it particularly. I think at the end of the day, we should let Omar speak as much as she wants. AOC, we should be able to let her speak as much as she wants. I don't think we should shut these women up. I think we should let these women run their mouths and be particularly bad. I really, really do. But let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, guys, don't forget to share these videos because they're not being recommended on YouTube and no one seems to be getting notifications either. So don't forget to go to the website nonpartisanmedia.com, sign up for that newsletter, and that should be automatically updating. I should check that. and they'll let you know exactly what videos come out every day. Apart from that, guys, obviously we'll be back in video 2 and 3 of today. Will be a triple upload. So if you don't get notifications for the other 2 and you got one for this for some weird reason, check those out later today. Have a great night and enjoy.